Okay, so here we are live with another action figure unboxing. It's a McFarlane DC Superpowers, and this is Batman. Now, the official name of this particular version of Batman is just Batman, but let's call him Black Suit Batman just to keep everything straight. So we got Black Suit Batman, we got Bronze Age Batman. That's this one, blue and gray. We got the Hush version of Batman. That's this one. And then we have uh, Thomas Wayne Flashpoint Batman. Now, this is a straight up repaint of the Bronze Age Batman, blue and gray Batman. And this is an action figure that I've been waiting for since 1989. Oh, yeah, it's been that long. I've been waiting for this particular action figure. Let me tell you the story real quick. So, in 1988, I'd read an article in Comic Scene magazine that told me they were making a live action Batman movie, and it was going to be darker and grittier and that sort of take, like more like the modern comic books than the Adam West Batman television show. And of course, I love the Adam West Batman television show, always have. But I was really excited that they were going to do something more like the comics, because I always wanted to see a version of Batman that was more like the comics. So I was looking forward to this for a long time before it was coming out, and there was some controversy about it when they announced Michael Keaton was playing Batman. But I was one of the few people who was like, no, 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 Michael Keaton's a good actor. I think he can actually pull it off. It's like, yeah, him mostly as a comedic actor, but I mean, comedy is like the hardest kind of acting to do. By the way, you see, I found this shirt coincidentally enough before I started shooting this video, and I'm like, oh well, I have to wear this shirt while I open the Batman figure. I mean, that just makes sense. So then we saw that trailer where he was wearing the suit, and you put him in the suit, he's Batman. Like Kevin Smith said, you could put anybody in that suit and they'd look like Batman. so so I went nuts over this movie, and I was getting like any kind of merchandise I could get my hands on. Like my main obsession was the Topps trading cards. And I bought like, because 50 cents for a pack of trading cards, you could usually, like, if you were at a gas station or something, you could usually talk like your mom or your dad or whoever into, hey, can I have a pack of these Batman trading cards? Yeah, sure, go ahead and toss it on there. So I was obsessed with the movie, and I had the trading cards, I had the movie novelization, I had the behind the scenes book, I had the Prince soundtrack. I was trying desperately to find the Danny Elfman score on cassette tape. I didn't have a CD player at that time. That was new technology for a kid like me. I think my stepdad had a CD player. He was like one of the first people I knew that had a CD player, but I didn't have one of my own. Uh, but yeah, and I bought the movie souvenir magazine, which also was put out by Topps because they did all kinds of stuff like that. And if you open up the cover of that, right inside the cover, the first advertisement that's in the magazine was an advertisement for this new toy company called Toy Biz. They had gotten the rights to do action figures for the Batman movie and DC in general. And there was a picture of a Batman action figure on there. It was not the Batman action figure that they released. It was, I think, just some kind of rough early prototype, and all they really did was they took the Superpowers Batman action figure and just painted him into a black outfit. And that was that was the photograph that they had on there. And I just looked at it and I'm like, wow, it's just the Superpowers Batman in a black paint job, but it looks really cool. Like, I don't even care if it's movie accurate. He looks great in black like that. But then when the toy came out, I guess by that time they'd had their sculpt made up, and while it was more movie accurate, it was not as high quality of a sculpt as the Superpowers Batman sculpt. So I always really wanted that Superpowers Batman figure in a black outfit. Now, fast forward to 1990, and Toy Biz actually lost the license to do Batman action figures, and Kenner scooped it back up. So they put out their own Michael Keaton Batman action figure that actually was retooled from the Superpowers figure, but it had a new head sculpt that looked more like Michael Keaton. It had the scalloping around the cowl like the movie outfit had. It had the same belt buckle as the movie. It had the same sort of shin guards. So it wasn't a repaint of the Superpowers figure either, but it was closer. It was closer to the Superpowers figure, but just not exactly. But when I saw that Mcfarlane was putting out new Superpowers figures, and I saw that he was going to do this all black Batman, that hit me right in the nostalgia button, man. Like I didn't know how much I wanted this figure until I finally saw that they were making it, and it's like, yes, that was the figure that I've wanted for all these decades, and now I finally have it. So one thing that irritates me about the condition that this arrived in is you can see there's a small tear in the card. Now I pre-ordered this from Amazon. I did my trick where I pre-order it and I apply gift cards to it, so I basically got it for free. So this is not. A lot of the times you see me get stuff from Amazon, and I'll get it for cheaper because the package is dinged up. Because I don't really care about that. But I kind of feel like if I pre-ordered this figure, they should have probably made sure that I had a card that wasn't dinged up. So, but as I always say with these sort of things, I'm glad at least that I got the one with the dinged up card, since I'm going to open it anyway, rather than some person who wants to collect these mint in the package and then they get it and they're like, what the hell, you know? So, got a nice piece of artwork on there. It's Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. It's the same artwork that we had on the Bronze Age Batman figure, but you can see they made the colors much darker to match the black outfit. Now, it's not a true black outfit. It's kind of like how they did Batman's costume in the late 90s when they wanted to look like a black outfit, but they still wanted to keep the blue and gray color scheme somewhat. So you can see that the cape and cowl is like a very dark grayish blue, and then the bodysuit itself is kind of more of a charcoal gray. He does still have the black trunks. You can probably make that out if I get the lighting on it just right. But yeah, let's go ahead and read the bio on the back. We've read this bio before, but we're gonna read it again. So somebody this might be their first time seeing me do a Superpowers unboxing of a Batman figure. So I'm gonna reread it. As a child, Bruce Wayne watched as his parents were brutally killed in Gotham City's crime alley. Traumatized by their deaths, he devoted his life to becoming the world's greatest weapon against crime, the Batman. So, and then we've got the cross-sell artwork on the back with our long list of characters that we've got by now. Let's run through that real quick. Superman, Darkseid, Batman, Green Lantern, John Stewart, The Flash, The Batman Who Laughs, Robin, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of Wonder Woman, Nightwing, Deathstroke, Aquaman, Black Manta, Batman, Robin, Tim Drake, Wonder Woman, The Reverse Flash, Superman, The Flash, Thomas Wayne, Batman, Robin, Tim Drake, and Nightwing. And then we've got two of the vehicles that they're advertising here, the Batmobile, which I don't have yet, and the Invisible Jet, which actually should be arriving today. I finally got myself an Invisible Jet off of Amazon. They had one for like a good price. I couldn't resist it. So, okay, now that we've got all that out of the way, let's go ahead and open up our Batman. And I am super excited about this one. Everybody knows that the blue and gray version of Batman is my favorite, and that's the one that I like best. But I like the all black suit almost as much. I've got just as much nostalgia for that one. So I guess as far as like your traditional Batman colors, I go blue and gray, all black, black and gray. That would be my Ascension. So his cape is clicked onto his neck, and I'm not going to be able to pull it out through the back until I take the figure out. So I'm hoping I'll be able to pull the figure out in such a way where he is in there nice and firm, too. Let's go ahead. Oh, it's so crinkly. There we go. Okay, so cape came right off of him. I'm going to pull it through the back hole, so that way I don't have to worry about fraying it too much. It did look like it might have had a little bit of fraying on it when I was looking at it in the package, but I'm hoping it's one of those things where it's just not as bad as it looks. So you saw how his cape was in there, kind of oddly shaped. Blue and gray is my favorite too, says Sonny Anderson. Yep, that's the classic Batman. That's the one I grew up with. So absolutely, he's my favorite. And here we go. Oh, that looks sharp. Now, one difference as far as the coloration of this goes versus that Toy Biz prototype figure that I was talking about is he does have a gold emblem and a gold belt, which that one's that Toy Biz prototype still had a yellow emblem and yellow belt like the original Superpowers figure. But I guess that's an homage back again to the Kenner Dark Knight collection figure, and it does look sharp. You can't deny that. As to whichever one you think is accurate, and let's go ahead and we'll do some comparisons with some of the other McFarlane Superpowers figures we've had so far. So here he is next to Bronze Age Batman, and you can see that's the same exact sculpt. It's just painted differently. So, and the body of this is almost identical to the vintage Superpowers figure, but the head sculpt is somewhat different. It's not like incredibly different, but it's just different enough that you can tell it's different. So we'll go ahead and set that one back aside, and let's go ahead and go back to the first McFarlane Superpowers figure, and there is Hush Batman. So we get to see what those two look like side by side, and you can see that like the Hush Batman was an entirely original sculpt, and he's a little bit bulkier than the Superpowers style sculpt, well the Kenner style sculpt. They're all technically superpowers, right? And then let's get a shot of Thomas Wayne. And something I noticed is that Thomas Wayne actually has like a slightly darker skin color than most of these superpowers figures have. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Also, their capes are different. You might think that their capes would be the same, that they both have the same black cape, but no, actually, you can see holding them next to each other. You can even tell on the camera. Bruce's cape is much more of a darker true black, and Thomas's cape is actually like kind of an off black, almost charcoal kind of color. So that's interesting. And then we can get some. Let's get some shots with some of our other characters. We've got two different Nightwing figures here I can compare them to. So here he is with the 90s style of Nightwing. So you could almost imagine this being like a post Nightfall, uh, like what the Troika storyline, where he comes in and he's wearing his darker colored Batman suit, and Nightwing goes back to this suit. That's pretty cool. And speaking of that particular time period, here he is with the blue and black Nightwing costume, so you can see what they look like together. And last but not least, we got to complete the dynamic duo. And there is the black suit Batman with the Nightfall type Robin, Tim Drake. Again, they just called both those figures Robin, Tim Drake. So I guess like we're on our own as far as what we call them to differentiate them. So let's go ahead and go over the articulation for anybody who's not familiar with the Superpowers articulation, but it's pretty simple. Head turns all the way around. I don't know why you'd want to turn his head all the way around, but it does turn all the way around. It's just left to right movement. Same with arms, simple cut joint. Arms rotate all the way around like that. So this is old school action figure articulation. This is not the fancy stuff we're used to from like Marvel Legends or you know McFarlane's own DC multiverse figures, and not even the GI Joes of the '80s, which GI Joes of the '80s were like the most articulated figures. His leg goes up about that far, and he bends at the knee. So it's a 7-point of articulation figure, which is a little more than your standard '80s action figure, but still not quite as close as the modern equivalent. So let's get a closer look at that head sculpt. and if I can get it to focus well enough, it is, again, it's not the same head sculpt as the. I guess they probably wanted it to be a little bit different, just so like they weren't like ruining the value of the older collectibles or whatever. But it's still, to me, it looks close enough to that old superpowers head sculpt that I can accept it. It's a good head sculpt. I like it. I actually, even I'd go so far as to say I like it a little bit better than the original superpowers head sculpt, but just because it has the longer ears. So that's probably going to be a controversial statement, but it is what it is. So for me, this was absolutely a figure worth picking up, and I'm very happy with it. So I know some people, especially in the superpowers line, might be a little down on the idea of having lots of multiple Batman variants. But let's be honest, Batman is probably the most popular character that DC has right now, and I would say that the only one that even comes close to rivaling him is Superman. And I would say, like even if you want to debate that Superman would be more popular than Batman, Batman still sells more action figures, and that might not even have anything to do with with the popularity of Batman versus Superman, but Batman's got like vehicles and play sets and all kinds of stuff you can build around him. Like Superman, yeah, you could make a supermobile, you could make a Fortress of Solitude playset, sure, but it's not as essential to the character. Is Batman's got to have his Batmobile. He's got to have Robin. He's got to have the Joker. There's like a lot more stuff you can do around Batman as an action figure than you can around Superman. So much as I love Superman, that's one area I think where uh Batman beats Superman is the just the variety of toys that you can like the Joker himself said, where does he get those wonderful toys? So yeah, this one definitely gets a recommend. If if you were somebody who's like, I'm just gonna buy one Batman figure and that's it, I would say get one of these two, because these are the two best ones, I think. The Hush one is okay, but you're gonna wind up, I think, at this point paying more for the Hush version than you would for either one of these, and these are both better. And of course, Thomas Wayne isn't technically the same character. That's like a parallel universe version of Batman's father. So yeah, I don't know if you would want that to be your own one Batman figure, unless you're just that huge fan of Thomas Wayne as a character. But me, I gotta have them all, man. I gotta have every version of Batman they put out. I love this superpowers line. The figures are really good. Uh, the vehicles, I think, like I've said before, are actually the best part. And usually the ones that I like are the ones that are Bronze Age characters that fit into the original line, like somebody that I figure could have been a superpowers figure, but but didn't get made into a superpowers figure for whatever reason. Deathstroke. Deathstroke is to me the prime example. This is and the upcoming Black Manta. I think he might actually be out. I haven't seen him yet. He's supposed to be a Walmart exclusive. But figures like Deathstroke and Black Manta, those are the ones that I've been enjoying the most in this particular line. But this one, just like I said, it just scratched that nostalgic itch for me, and it was something that like I really wanted for all this time and never got a chance to really truly have until now. This is probably the closest I'm ever going to get to having that prototype figure that I appreciated so much. And if you appreciated this video, please demonstrate your appreciation by liking and subscribing and all that fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this figure. I like seeing comments. Seeing comments makes me happy. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. I'm about to take a little bit of a break, and then I'm going to come back with another episode of Batman the Animated Series. So look forward to that shortly. We will talk to you next time. Bye.